invincible.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to RSCEU. We're here for our second stream of week 4, and well, we start off in the Master Tier. It's Fearless Alpha versus Phoenix. I am Tom Dillon. Alongside me for the first time this season is Morris Sky, and well, very excited about this game. 9th versus 10th, but it's very tight at the bottom end of this table.
It is indeed. And you know what, Tom? I'm just excited to be back with you, buddy. It's been a few weeks. It's been since last season, but we're finally back in the casting booth together. And yeah, like you say, this is, on paper, this is going to be quite a good one because, yeah, despite this two teams being at the bottom of the table, you pointed out very correctly, it's very tight on this at the moment. So I think you were saying before we came on air, one clean sweep for Alpha, and it could be an absolute game changer in terms of league standings.
He's only nicked my one note that I had made for this game. This is why we don't talk in the group. Just blank your co-casters, everyone. But you can see the schedule up on your screen. Fearless Alpha game is the one that is first up. Then we go over to Premier Tier for Shaman Esports versus Domination. And then finally at 10 o'clock CET, it's Deception versus Temple. A pretty nice lineup, actually, throughout the course of the night. Very high quality Rocket League.
It is indeed. I mean, getting off to getting the show running with a Masters game, this is a good way to go. And then, yeah, probably up next. But, I mean, we'll talk about those teams later because, as you see there, we've got 9th versus 10th. And, I mean, it's a tough one because this is sort of getting into, the mid part of the season and these two teams just at the bottom of the table. And I apologise, Tom, for nicking your note. But, this is where results are going to start to count, really. And, both teams on sort of, near enough the same amount of wins a game. It could swing either way. And I think the sort of players are going to be the key difference here. And I say that there's apparently only one player for Alpha on the stats page there, which is slightly awkward. But I don't know, Tom. How do you see this one sort of panning out?
Fearless are coming into this with a brand new lineup, pretty much. Sentry, Hansen, and Ethereal. I'm hearing Ethereal is coming up from Elite. Thank you, Buddha, by the way, for giving us that information in the chat. So that's interesting. Forge as well have got Conflicts not playing, as he's mentioned in chat. So it's going to be really about who can get adapted as quickly as possible, who can get adapted quicker than the other team here, Morris Sky, because it's not ideal to be playing with two two new rosters, particularly if you've got one of your players coming up from the lower tier.
Yeah, it is a question. It's for me personally, when you've got this sort of this randomness, this random element. It all comes down to sort of the mental game and who can sort of just settle down the quickest and get in, find the rhythm and find their flow. But I mean, looking at quickly there at the league standings, question for you, Tom. I mean, does it play on? Do you think it's going to play on the minds that they need to get results in this one to really sort of kickstart their season if they want to push on to the playoffs, or do you think they're just because effectively new rosters around the table? do you think they're just going to go all guns blazing?
Essentially a sweep here for Fearless, as you mentioned, is going to take them into the playoffs. That immediately makes it look a lot better. Heck got the sweep over Haven. Haven got the sweep over Heck last night, I should say. So that puts them into a very pretty sixth spot. So as we said before, it's so tight at this part of the table that I think they really do just need to get a win tonight and start climbing up the table. But in terms of predictions, I've gone 3-1 Fearless here. I think they've probably got enough with that new roster to do it. Maybe it's been a new roster beginner look, but who have you predicted?
Wow, you know what it is, Tom. I mean, last season I became like the draw specialist, and I think because this is technically my first cast for IRC this season, I think it's only fair that I sort of kick things off going back to the draw. And you know, on stat, these two, I'm not just saying that because I am saying that because the reason being these two teams are sort of quite evenly matched, so I can just see this one teetering out for a 2-all draw. But you know, as we all know, Tom, you know the caster's curse and sort of the predictions kind of go out the window. So anything can happen really. So we will see.
Well, ready to tell the players to join up, and we can get into this game. It's definitely one that has been highly anticipated. I suspect might be the pick of the bunch for this evening as we go over to the first venue of the 4-game series. Fearless Alpha will be in the blue. A little bit of contention yesterday about whether it was red or pink the other side, but it's Phoenix that play in the reddy pink sort of colour, and it's Nano Replays. It takes a shot immediately. Steb here is going to take a shot himself and get away by Ethereal. Frenetic starts in the first 10 seconds or so. This time it's going to be Alpha's first attack of the day. Replays takes it back downfield. Steb might turn it into a counter attack here, taking a shot and cleared away by Ethereal. Usyk not able to wait on it. In fact, it goes all the way up the other end.
Oh!
A very fine save.
Oh, that one. Look, I was going to squeeze in and Steb again at the near post there. My word, Phoenix, one end of the pitch to the other, and going after a flying start, both these two teams. They've been on a bit of early pressure. Top bins, though, coming in from Hansen. Comes in off the side and just not able to get on the end of it is Steb on this occasion. Got a beautiful shot there from Hansen to send it in top bins, and 1-0 for Alpha.
And, well, a very nice start for them. We said they need to get off very quickly, and that's exactly what they've done. Here's Steb then, trying to create a bit of space for himself, but Ethereal takes it off him. Now into Sentry in the centre. He's going to take a shot, and off of the backboard on this occasion. Into Hansen. He takes a shot. It's a good save again. Ethereal here to follow through, and they really just can't breathe at the moment, Phoenix.
A little bit under the cosh, and they just got to ride out this wave of pressure, but because they did show early signs, you know, that they can indeed sort of play Rocket League, which is good to see at this certain level. I don't know why I said that, I just did, but oh well. Yeah, point is, right out of the pressure, and I'm sure the opportunities will come as Usyk passing field to Replays, and there's the opportunity that they needed. The breakaway goal there, lovely passing play in the midfield there by Replays and Usyk. Nothing Hansen can do about that one, and that's just the response they needed.
Absolutely. Right, back into this context. Phoenix and Nano Replays has been very dangerous actually throughout the course of this game so far. About right that he gets one onto the board. Usyk will challenge this down. Steps there in the centre. He can take a shot, but he's challenged down very quickly indeed. And not really anything doing for him there. Into Nano Replays though. His shot is just high over the crossbar. Following it through his Steb. A couple of quick demos might just allow space for Usyk here in the centre. Takes a shot and is onto it very, very quickly.
I mean, the passing plays, I mean, for Phoenix, they rode out the pressure and now they're bringing out the passing plays. You love it when it sort of pays off like that. That's two beautiful team goals, and just at pretty much the drop of a hat, Tom. It's kind of gone from Alpha looking like they were starting to build up momentum to suddenly Phoenix getting two quick goals in succession, and suddenly the boots on the other foot. If that is a saying, I don't know if it is, Tom. I don't know if I just made that one up or not. But the point is, Phoenix are finally here to play.
That's a reset from Usyk. Looks central for Nano Replays, who can't really get there. Sentry will try and take it away. Steb keeping the pressure up, though. Into Nano Replays, takes a shot to double their lead, and it's a nice save. Here's Usyk keeping it going. Can Steb drop in it's off the crossbar. Nano Replays takes a stab. He can't score. Ethereal with the save once again. Steb keeps this one alive, though. Ethereal eventually clearing it downfield, defending for their life here. Fearless, Ethereal in a little bit of side-by-side contact with Usyk. Step eventually taking it away out to his right-hand side. Hansen shadows it. Nano Replays, though, gets onto it quickly. He takes a shot, and Sentry eventually clearing this away. I mean, for a team that has got elite players in it, and elite in terms of the tier that they come from, they've picked up the pace of play very quickly, Roxcar.
Yeah, I think indeed, and you love to see it when, I think if anything, when you're, sometimes it works out in favour when you're coming from a lower tier. You kind of, you've got to prove yourself, so you kind of, you know, you do the fundamental basics of Rocket League so much better because you're that much more focused, because you know you have to step up your performance, and when you're playing against better players as well, that sort of that does aid in the ability. And Steb getting in a third there for Phoenix. I mean, Phoenix is a game. It's literally a game of sort of two halves, because Phoenix were looking under the caution. Now they're just absolutely dominating Alpha, and now it's a case of Alpha got to find that early rhythm that they had early doors, and see if we can get a second goal just to sort of make sure this game doesn't run away from them.
Well, Phoenix sit with 65% of the ball possession, which is quite remarkable actually for Rocket League. That is a lot of ball possession. Typically it's around 50-50, no matter how much a team's dominating a game. Here are Alpha trying to get themselves back into the game, but it'll be cleared away. Nano Replays with a boom downfield, looks for Usyk in centre field. He can't really redirect it forward, looks for a rump on Ethereal, can't find it. The shot comes in though, and Hansen has to clear it away. So really good stuff from Phoenix at the moment. Has sort of dominated this game one, even if it hasn't quite felt like they've been dominating. This is a shot. Usyk will be able to get to it and save it away. Now Ethereal keeping this attack alive. They really do need a goal now, Phoenix. But Alpha, I should say.
Yeah, make sure you get the right team, Tom. Don't want to be upsetting any fans in the chat on that one, but yeah, it's still within their grasp. One goal can change the momentum just like that. But Steb trying to look to put this one to bed, and Ethereal there making sure he's near post and firmly covered. But with every opportunity that Phoenix have, and you know, it eats out the clock, and there are 30 seconds left. Alpha, they're struggling to sort of try and find that finishing pass, that beautiful moment. But Phoenix, you got to give credit to them. They are just absolutely hammering Alpha at the moment and not letting them breathe.
Hansen challenges Usyk. He's not really able to do much. Sentry looks for a pinch. 10 seconds to find 2 goals. Probably not going to happen. Phoenix have responded very nicely indeed. Maybe a consolation goal here though for Fearless Alpha. Not able to do so, and as we hit the buzzer, it is going to be game 1 for Phoenix, and with that, the chances of Fearless Alpha going into playoff spots this evening is, well, out of it, I'm afraid. But regardless, they're going to try and get these next few games under their belts, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, the shot count there for Phoenix. Well, actually, to be fair, you know, Alpha were getting some good shots in there early doors, but you know, the shot count for Phoenix there just sort of speaks volumes as to, you know, they've got the mental game after that first one, and they'll be looking to push on and drive their authority home. And I think for Alpha, I mean, you mentioned it during the game there, the ball possession for Phoenix, they were just in control of it. I mean, it's a testament to sort of the teams, you know, at this sort of level, that, you know, it's not a case of just punting the ball up the end of the field and hoping for the best. Phoenix, you know, just working it up and down the field, just making sure that they're not letting the ball run away from them and giving Alpha a chance to get the breakaway goal. Yeah, it's well played, Phoenix. So it'd be interesting to see how Alpha approach the second game.
Yeah, it will be interesting, actually, whether they come out of the blocks quickly or whether they actually play a little bit more cautious than they did in that previous game. I think they've got to try and dominate. You always have to when you're in these sort of bottom of the table clashes. You've got to try and dominate the game because you don't want to keep it cagey. That's when you find yourself losing the game. Here's a good kickoff from Alpha then. Hansen is going to chase it to the corner. Look, central perhaps. Nano Replays having to clear it away. Gets a demo on Sentry as well. That was very, very quickly spotted. It's allowed Usyk to take a stab downfield into Steb. Steb looks to take a shot now, but he's not got great contacts on the ball. And able to try and take it away, a Fearless Alpha. Now they do take it away, and Sentry's got a chase on the ball slightly ahead of him. He's challenged by Usyk, who free jumps very nicely. Eventually the ball comes back out here to centre field.
Bit more hazy start between the two teams. Neither really sort of taking the early opportunities, but Alpha though looking to just maybe settle the nerves a little bit of field off the backboard. Lovely touch from him, lovely second touch around Steb as well, but just not able to keep the ball under control. But a bit more like that, and I'm sure the opportunities will come from Phoenix here. Now, players getting caught in midfield. This is a lot better from Alpha. They're looking like they've just let that first game sort of wash over them, and if they can keep this up, maybe see the getting first goal. But we saw it in the first game, Tom. I mean, Alpha got off to a good start, and then Phoenix, after 2 quick goals, you know, took the game really. So it's almost got a feeling, similar feeling to the first game.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Central go for a 50-50 with Usyk here. Usyk goes through 2, and eventually his teammate gets a bump on him. So he was able to waltz through the defence until his teammate came in to stop the attack. Oh. Now it's the centre ethereal. Dev clears it away. Now he attacks downfield. He's got Hansen to beat. He does beat him. That replays, looking off of the corner into the centre. It goes from Usyk, and Steb trying to challenge it down, but once again Fearless Alpha survive, and again they're surviving by pretty much holding on. This is Nano replay, surely now into an open net. He's missed it. No, he hasn't. He got a bit of help on the way in, I think.
He got massive help on the way in. That's not what you want. Sentry's going to be absolutely kicking himself as whether that was going to go across the line or not, who knows. Sentry though, yeah, he made sure that one ended up in the back of net. Unfortunately for him, it's his own net. So Phoenix on this occasion get the first goal of the game, but for Alpha, they got off to a good start, and then they're just kind of going through a period now where they're just struggling a little bit as Phoenix. Almost seems like they've got that first goal and the confidence is straight with them, and they're just trying to drive their point home and get that second goal.
Yeah, absolutely. As here goes Nano replays to try and make it 2. He won't. He'll get credited with that first goal, by the way, of course, which perhaps a little bit unfair. No own goals technically in Rocket League. Instead, looking to clear this one downfield. He's bumped by Ethereal. Not really worth much though, as Nano replays is able to play it into Usyk. Usyk takes a shot and is just at the front post. Not quite able to be on net. Here's Nano replays though onto it, and he scores. Help on the way in once again, but I don't think it would have mattered because he was well and truly on net this time. And he hit it like a rocket, 61 mile an hour.
Yeah, not much Hansen can do that. I mean, we've all been in that position when you see the ball coming towards you, and then before you know it, it's in the back of the net. So Alpha very much under the cosh here, and I'm still very much on for my 2-2 draw. And Hansen finally getting a goal for Alpha, and just the response he needed, almost off the kickoff, and beautiful dunk there on replays, and that's just what they needed. But they got to be careful though, because Phoenix is still looking very dangerous, so they just got to make sure they don't let this one run away from them. Ethereal trying to fake out Steb, not quite, but he gets a pass to Sentry, and Steb, sure as he can be, and make sure that they've still got an advantage for Phoenix.
To the centre it goes, and my word, Steb can't quite get onto it on this occasion. Here goes Sentry, trying to meander his way into a goal scoring position, but the equaliser still evading Fearless. Here goes Ethereal. Steb careful not to overcommit, has to challenge now. He does challenge, wins the ball for a moment, only before Hansen takes it off of him. And a replay is able to collect it on his own goal line. Steb chases down, pinches it off the right hand side wall, looking central, maybe infield for a teammate. Eventually it's cleared away. Here goes Usyk. Nano replays in support on the left hand side. Can he go into the centre and maybe get a shot away? 1 minute and 10 to go at the moment. So a not goal now might just be decisive for this Phoenix side. However, it's Alpha on the attack.
Left and I didn't want to say anything because it seemed, I didn't want to curse it. I didn't want to say anything too soon, as I so often get the caster's curse on this one. But fortunately for Alpha, they've got to make sure that they don't. I'm scared to say anything, Tom. It's just end-to-end stuff at the moment. Both teams really trying to see this game out, and 30 seconds left. you know what? I'm going to let you decide how this one's going to turn out, Tom.
Well, he could turn on anything. This might be a turning point, though. Usyk takes a shot from way downfield and puts the game to bed. It's one of those moments that just turns the game around and seals it, surely, for Phoenix now.
What a shot that was off the backboard. I've got to say, that was an insane read and beautiful shot. And yeah, I think this, I hate to say it's, you know, still a chance, but you know, Alpha, you got a feel for them because they can only really play out for the draw now. I don't think they're going to get the draw in this occasion, but
maybe 2 for 2.
Why? Okay, 5 seconds, and they got to find 1 goal. I don't want to say anything, Tom.
2 downfield punts in the space of 10 seconds as well. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's incredible. I don't know how intentional either of them were, to be honest with you, but we get kicked off. 2 seconds to go for Fearless to try and take this to overtime. Ethereal's going to give it a little bit of air, but Usyk will get onto it and spike the ball. That is Phoenix winning, and I have to say, almost comically, how they won that. Almost comical how they won that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take it away from Usyk. I mean, I think he meant that shot because he put himself on the backboard. He got the read. Whether he meant to hit the target or not, I mean, he only just squeezed it in under the crossbar. But he'll say it was absolutely calculated. I know that for sure, as we all know what Rocket League players are like. But the positive for Alpha though is the fact that they, you know, possession-wise, they did bring it back to 50%. So they didn't, you know. There were moments during that game where it seemed like Phoenix were going to walk away with it, and they managed to come back into it. But then Phoenix get the final goal at the end there. So, you know, there's positives there for Alpha to look at, but Phoenix are looking very strong. And I think for me the key is Alpha just got to be that little bit quicker on the first man, because that's where Phoenix, you know, they get that possession. They look a little bit calm when they got control of the ball. And if Alpha can just step up the pace a little bit on the first and second man, then it'll be interesting to see whether Phoenix can handle the pressure or not.
Well, Sovereign Heights is next up. I tell you now, I've been on two casts so far in this RSE season, and already the map rotation is all too familiar to me. But anyway, Sovereign Heights is very nice in that map. Nicer than the next one that we go to, I can tell you that. Here's Sentry looking to get a goal immediately, and he does.
Oh. I was going to make a comment about Beckwith Park, but I've got to make a comment about this. I mean, it was exactly what I was saying. Sentry there just staying with the ball, stepping off. And that's not what you want to be doing. And that's just what Alpha will be wanting, you know, the early start, early goal. But there's still a lot left to play for. And Phoenix, you know, I wouldn't put it past them to get an immediate response.
Here's Ethereal looking to go through all of them with a double touch. He's just one step too far for him. Sentry downfield is going to have to challenge Steb. Steb gets there, and Sentry might just calculate this across his line. And Hansen gets there. Usyk takes a shot, and Ethereal gets the save. Now Steb. Save again.
They'll be kicking themselves, Phoenix. One of those should have gone in the back of the net, but fair play to Alpha, locking down with some beautiful saves. They've got to do it again. It's Steb trying to get on the end of that one. Not quite. Here comes Sentry into the air. Gets met by Nano. Good speed, I think, from both players. Nano getting the better of that one. Ethereal just got to be a little bit calm here. Flicks it forward. Gets it around Usyk. Gets met on the end by Nano. He's got it past him, but no. Neither of his team on Alpha are pushing as the second man there. They just seem a little bit hesitant and just putting Alpha on the back foot a little bit there, but I still can't get over those two saves. Phoenix, it should be at least, it should be 1-1 at the moment, I've got to say.
Might be 2-0, but Usyk is there very quickly indeed. That's a bit awkward. Sentry can turn his car around. Here's Ethereal then. Can he go for a double touch? He can't. Usyk is able to get there. Sentry now off of the corner. Maybe got a teammate in the centre. Has to look for a bump instead. Nano replays. Tweaks off the backboard very nicely indeed, but it's still Alpha who attacks. Steb looks to get to this one. Sentry does very well to put it central, and Usyk is the only man able to clear this one away. 2 men go up for it off of the crossbar on this occasion, and still just no doing for Fearless Alpha. And they haven't had the best of the luck today.
No, they haven't. But yeah, Phoenix to me, Alpha just seems to panic so slightly every now and then, whereas Phoenix are looking a lot more calm and collected, despite being 1-0 down at the moment. Usyk trying to get a shot in the save from Sentry. 3 glorious opportunities, none of them converted, and Alpha being absolutely rock solid at the back for all the nerves that they might be showing up front. They are definitely looking like they've got their defensive line sorted out at the moment, but you've got maybe a few more opportunities are going to come, and whether they can hold out towards the end of the game past the halfway point. It's only 1-0, so we will see.
Here goes Nano replays, looking into the sensor. He's met by Sentry, not a teammate. Step will take it off of him. Can he find someone inside of the box? Sentry now takes a shot. It's downfield again, and it's well wide of the post. 2 minutes to go. Still a slender lead for Fearless Alpha. Here's Hansen looking to take a shot. He can't quite find it. Ethereal takes a shot, and it's a demo on the line that doubles their advantage. And it's well and truly Fearless Alpha into the driving seat.
You know I love a demo play, Tom. That was a thing of beauty. Hansen, take a bow. I absolutely love it. I say it so often, or I said it so often last season. But demos just open up the space a little bit more. And I was thinking there hasn't been that much aggression, not many demos coming in. As Step save off the post, and Sentry can't quite get the follow up, and my word, ball bouncing around the Phoenix's goal, but nothing's gone into the back of the net yet. And yeah, back to my point. I think there just needs to be a few more demos done. There we go.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. It's always in these tight games that demos have to start to come out. Here's Usyk, nice link-up play with Steb, and that is a very, very good demo on Nano replays. Takes the pace out of the attack. Sentry will go downfield. Hansen into centre field. Here's Nano replays again. Can he get a pinch off the floor? No, Ethereal all the way downfield. He takes it off of everyone. Usyk now. Step. Usyk again looking to clear it away. It's ping pong at the moment with a minute to go in the game.
I've got to say, Alpha are looking a lot more on the ball in this game. I don't know quite what they've said to each other, but they're working it well. Still, for me personally, need to be a little bit quicker in sort of the follow-ups and not to panic slightly and double commit, but definitely looking a lot better in the previous 2 games. But Usyk trying to find a quick response at Phoenix and not able to do it. But just over 30 seconds left on the clock, and Phoenix got to find something quickly.
Deb looks at pushing it down and nothing doing. 30 seconds to go in the game. Then Sentry goes downfield. He takes a shot all the way, maybe off the post. It's not quite able to be found by Fearless Alpha just yet. Here's Phoenix looking downfield to try and get a foot back into this game, to try and wrap up at least a win from this series. Of course, the sweep would be one more for them, but with 7 seconds to go, I think they're going to have to resign themselves to the fact that it's at least, at most, going to be a 3-1 into the centre for consolation. Fearless Alpha get the ball onto the floor, and they've saved something from this series, even if they don't square it.
Yeah, and I've seen it so often when a team gets to the two win mark early doors, and it's whether Phoenix has just took the foot off the gas a little bit. I'm not sure, but I've got to give credit to Alpha. They did step up in that game, had a few shaky moments, but they managed to see it out, and I think they won that just based on those absolutely insane saves on the line. I mean, somebody in Twitch, clip some of those, because I've got to see how none of those went in the back of the net, and I think Phoenix is going to be kicking themselves. But fair play there to Alpha. They're giving themselves. And Tom, I am on for my 2-2 draw prediction.
Yes, and well, it's the first time I haven't predicted a 2-2 draw for a while, and obviously this is what happens. So I mean, what can you say really? What can you say?
You can say that I am potentially going to be right and you're going to be wrong. I think that's...
Yeah, you get less points for your 2-2 draw prediction than if I had predicted the correct winner of the series. So, really?
Well, come on, Tom. At the end of the day, what do the points actually mean? It's just like who got the prediction right. And so far, we've only got the one game so far this season, but it seems like I'm going to be right for the first one. But... who knows? We will see. There's still 5 minutes of Rocket League left to play. I'm not going to get ahead of myself just yet. I might have just cursed myself big time But certainly Alpha are giving themselves an opportunity.
It certainly has. Here's Ethereal downfield, getting my plurals mixed up into the centre. It goes now. A shot from Usyk, and oh my word, it's just a good save from Sentry. Sweeps on the line very quickly indeed. Here's Nano replays, gets it off for the ceiling. Hansen will try and clear it away. Really able to clear much away actually in the end, and it's still Phoenix who attack, having the better of the possession so far in this game. 1 shot to 0 at the moment, but it won't matter because that's the second shot of the game, and it's the first goal of the game, and it goes to Fearless Alpha.
Just watch out for the bump here. Absolutely disgusting from Ethereal. He saw Usyk in his sight, he got him locked on, and he said, get out of here, the ball's going in the back of the net. That is not the demo plays that I love, but, you know, near enough a bump play, you've got to love it, and it just cleared out the house, and Fearless Alpha taking the first goal of the game. Ethereal, you dirty boy. He's only doing it again, Tom. He's actually on a mission at the moment.
Yeah, you haven't lost me. I was trying to recollect myself because I'm having a bit of trouble. But into the centre, the step drops down. Maybe Usyk can get there. He can't. It's still Fearless Alpha who have the lead. Hansen will get challenged. Hansen will lose the challenge, but Ethereal will be able to regain possession quickly. Usyk now challenging down. Ethereal clears it across the face of goal. Now here for chance of Sentry. Sentry takes a shot. It's on net, but Nano replays is able to get the save. This Phoenix defense has been remarkably good all throughout this series, and I think it would be a bit unfair if with the defense like, oh dearie me, hopefully that doesn't curse it, as downfield they go. I said I think it would. I was trying to say that I think it would be a little bit unfair on their luck if they weren't able to pick up a win from this series.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I kind of want to agree with you, and I kind of don't, Tom. It's just based on the fact that Alpha, like, you know, last game, their defense was absolutely on point. They threw in some epic saves. So, I mean, certainly Phoenix definitely seem like they've been the stronger ones, but they've let it slip slightly in these last 2 games. As Usyk trying to get a flick, and Hansen is the lead on that one. They haven't quite got like the finishing touch. I mean, we saw some beautiful passing plays to get some of their goals in the first 2 games, and we just haven't seen that sort of connection in these last 2. So it's a tricky one, but certainly I feel like Phoenix has definitely been the calmer of the 2 teams, but we will see if they can bring it back. They've still got just under half a game, so you never know. Still a chance.
Ethereal here is looking to go over the top. We'll get a reset as well. Maybe a shot. Oh my word! Into the fan of Hansen, and the goal as well. Look at this for a setup to a goal. Reset off the crossbar into Hansen. And the goal.
Beautiful. Take a bow. It should have gone in the back of net. He should have got the goal, but he'll take the assist nonetheless, because that means that Alpha have got a 2-0 advantage. He might have 3. They do indeed. A Century slamming that one home off the pass from Ethereal. Beautiful play. And absolutely 2 gorgeous goals back to back there. 2 minutes on the clock, and Phoenix are a shadow of their former self. Fair play, Alpha. They seem done and dusted, but past 2 games they've absolutely brought it back, and they seem like they might be on for the to take away with a draw here. But still 2 minutes left. Now, I have seen it done before, Tom. Somebody coming from a 3 goal deficit, so you never know.
And a reminder that Ethereal as well is coming up from Elite, so he is in this tier for the first time today. He's gone and pulled out a mechanical goal like that. His step into Usyk. Usyk takes a shot. Ethereal has to get back and doesn't get cursed immediately by my praising of his mechanics. Steb will get round to it, and Ethereal looks to attack once more into the centre. Surely he'll get his goal. He won't. And for a man who's been so good in this game, to not have a goal yet is a bit of an injustice. Hansen, though, will get his second goal of the game, and Fearless Alpha is saving this series very, very forcefully.
Yeah, there was just panic at the back there, I think, for Phoenix. Like, the ball, neither of them wanting to get on that ball and make sure he gets cleared out of defence. They kind of left it for each other, and that just allowed the opportunity there for Alpha to come in and get the 4th goal. But Phoenix have just absolutely crumbled, and they got a minute left on the clock. I'm pretty sure we're not going to see the epic comeback. I would love to see it because it would just be the dream cast, but they've got to find something quickly. Maybe Usyk can get on the end of this one, not quite. Keeps the ball alive as replays, but not much he can do with that. And yeah, the connection for Phoenix just not quite. It's just gone. It's not there anymore.
No, it's not, and 40 seconds to try and find something very remarkable indeed, and get the sense it might just not happen for them. So Fearless maybe saving a draw from this series, which is probably a fair result, and well, probably what you predicted as well, Morris Sky. With 20 seconds to go now, it's Devil. Boom it downfield, look off of the corner, maybe to try and get a goal onto the board. You never know when goal difference is going to come into it. Sentry downfield again, Stebble keep the pressure up. Nano Replays looks to redirect one off of the sidewall, but it in the end will drop to Fearless Alpha. They'll just try and close this game out now. Hansen can't get to it, but the ball has not got a great deal of momentum. Usyk maybe to take one final shot as we hit the buzzer for the last time for this series. Onto the floor it goes. Fearless Alpha recovering for the draw.
And fair play, Alpha. Definitely a series or two half in that one. Phoenix are the ones that looked on the point, and it's just, you know, I see it so often. You know, and I think it's the reason why I cast so many draws is because the team will get that first 2 wins under the belt, and then it's almost like the slight mindset of we've got the draw. We don't need to be as committed and as, you know, trying to force the game as much, and that sort of taking your foot off the gas a little bit just allows your opponents in, and as soon, you know, if they get their goals, which Alpha did, you know, well, actually they got the saves, which probably gave them the confidence boost. That for me is when it all started to change, and Alpha just, you know, the confidence there, and they could see that they could get something out of this game, and Phoenix just crumbled away at the end there. But you know, 2-2 draw I think is a fair reflection, not just because it means I was right, Tom, but yeah, definitely a series of 2 halves for me.
Did you predict 2-2? You haven't mentioned it, but I'm not too sure. Anyway,
I did.
We've got Shaman Esports up next against Domination. That is in the Premier Tier, and that one will be led by yourself, Morris Sky, and Liquid Sight. So for myself, Tom Dillon, I'll be ducking out of the box. Morris Sky will be back, of course, in 20 minutes' time. We'll see you then.
Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Coming like a hell. Like a Hellcat.
I can see my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explode right up in the sky. I need you to listen, I need you to hear, and don't show any fear. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe, trying to protect your soul.
storm meets the moon, and the silent will no more. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Welcome back to the second game here at RSC. Tom Dillon has departed me, but no, don't panic. We've been joined by probably my favourite Canadian caster and an absolute legend himself. It's been a while, but Liquid Sight, it's good to have you back in the casting booth.
It's always great to be back, and what a wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. That I am your favorite Canadian. I hope I'm most of the RSC EU's favorite Canadian caster. I haven't heard another one out here around here, but if they do join, please welcome them with open arms. I was here yesterday casting one game. It was Carbo and Scorch, I think. What a nail biter. Clearly, Scorch came away as the underdog. It's always fantastic to see. Morris Guy, you and I think, are both fans of bump and demo plays, and we're about to see Premier. And I feel like Premier tends to move around the field a lot faster, and it's hard to catch them with demos. So I'm excited to see when they come out.
Indeed. I mean, yeah, demos are the way forward. We saw in the previous series, as you see there, Phyllis, Alpha and Phoenix. It took a while, but eventually we got some nasty demo and bump plays coming in, and it did open the game up, and it meant that Fearless Alpha, after looking like they were going to be on the way out, brought it back to a 2-all draw. So it's going to be interesting to see, moving up a tier, to the creme de la creme, as you say, sites. Shaman Esports versus Domination. It's going to be an interesting one. As always, when you come to this sort of level of play, you've got two teams that, you know, they've only had the one series so far in the league. So really and truly for me personally, it's difficult to sort of read into sort of how these two teams are performing at the moment. But one thing is for sure, and I'm sure you'll agree, Sight, is these players or these teams, they have the capacity and the ability to pull off some absolutely insane plays and just give us some absolutely amazing Rocket League.
Definitely. And like you said, there's only been one series. So as we see here, 7th versus 3rd, a little bit of a misleading stat because there's such a large divide with not enough data points. And yeah, definitely when we get into that Premier League, we start to see a lot more solo mechanical plays. We see the infield passing and the players receiving those passes. Yesterday, again, with Elite, I believe that was Elite, Carbo, and Scorch, saw some great passes happening on the field, and it was always turned out to be very exciting. The players that are on the field, these teams don't typically have subs because they are pre-made teams. So these people usually have played with each other for a very long time. We see Richmond, Kokun, and Goji on Domination, and Eugen, AL, and Rise Fox on Shaman Esports. You know, there's stats again with only one series being played. You're not really seeing one person stand out more than the other. So it's really going to be anyone's guess. Chat, I'm not sure where you guys are leaning, but I believe my prediction, I went for the underdog because I always root for the underdog because it's always exciting to see those upset. So on paper, as it stands right now, Shaman being in 7th place, I'm going to go 3-1 for them.
And, you know, as is the way that normally happens, I mean, before we came on live, I did choose this first, so it's not me just going against Sight. I think he chose that prediction to go against me. I just put it out there now, but I've gone for the opposite. But there is method to my madness, and that is just based on the fact that even though we've had the one series, and I'm kind of contradicting myself slightly, Shaman Esports, they conceded 11 goals compared to Domination's. They only conceded 3 in the previous series. So to me, that's a sign that if Domination, you know, if they can bring that sort of defensive performance into this series here, it might be a tricky one for Shaman to break them down. But, you know, I'll go back to what I said. It's one series played. So I think on paper, this is anyone's game site. And rather than us sort of speculate, let's just tell them to get going and we'll see what happens.
I'm all for that. And yeah, the games for definitely hanging it a lot of the times on that third man, whether he's diving in to keep the pressure or cycling back to keep the defense. It's going to be interesting how this plays out. I'm always excited for the first kickoff because it really tends to set the pace. Those first 30 seconds, can they get a kickoff goal? Can they set the pace for the rest of the game? And who's going to be chasing and who's going to be attacking?
We will see here as it's Kogai. Oh, you know what? We've only just kicked off and I'm already struggling with the first person's name. But Coggy, I'm going to call him from now on.
Goji! Goji!
Goji. Is it Goji? Goji.
Yeah,
all right, I'll try and...
it's two G's.
Whatever it is, I'll just call him G-Man. That might be a bit easier for me, getting the kickoff. But the point is, that Shaman in blue, Domination in pinky red, whatever you want to call that. It's Shaman getting the early sort of possession, early opportunity coming in, but 30 seconds played, and you know what? I'm disappointed. This is Premier. We should have had at least a shot on target, but there's nothing yet.
I think you might be just about got your wish there. Is Isle had to get way up there to get that and then kick it away, and Goji is going to try and put it in the center for Richmond, who meets that 50-50, and Shaman Esports is trying to collect himself on the defensive side and finally gets a breakout as Eugen puts it under him and then slams it on the underneath of his car to get that extra boost, that extra tempo, and gets it way past Richmond as he gets a pinch with the defender Goji, and that puts them on the board first, striking first. So let's see, are we going to have a team that's going to take their foot off the gas and just try and protect the league, or are they going to keep coming at them and bring it to them?
Well, Eugen's trying to get their second goal there, but Goji coming in with a clutch save on the line, and that goal, I mean, the awareness to sort of, you know what, scratch that. We'll talk about this goal instead by I can't even say it. Aiello. I'm British, I struggle with names.
Let's just call him Isle. We'll call him Isle for
Isle.
this game, I think. Yeah, you know, like the grocery store aisle.
Okay, yeah, I can remember that one. So Isle getting in a beautiful second goal there for Shaman Esports, doubling their lead. And you know what, it's going against what I predicted at the start here. Domination's defense is just kind of not quite on point at the moment. They've nearly conceded as many goals as they did in the previous series. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops, but certainly Shaman Esports are getting in the early advantage, and they might get a third goal. They can squeeze it in, but Kokun on the line there, clutch save, still 2-0.
Yeah, it has really been a lot of questions for nerves, because a lot of the times we see these teams, you know, they do quite well. They play with each other. This is Premier. This is the top end of the league. So we know these people can play. We know they know how to read the ball. They can read the pitch. They can find each other. So a lot of the times, these are the jitters that happens with just being on a live stream. We've had lots of players come out and say, you know, playing on live stream is cursed, where they expect it to win. You know, it's a sure thing. You know, it's first versus last, and last comes out. So this is always an indication. The first game, it's like every other anime when there's two fighting people that fight. This is those first 5 episodes where they're just sizing each other out in these first 5 minutes.
Well, we still got half a game of Richmond, almost getting the response that Domination need to bring themselves back into this one, but they still find themselves 2-0 down, as it's not quite able to squeeze it under the crossbar. But here he comes again, trying to get the read off the backboard. Pass infield to Kokun. Goji keeping the ball alive. Finally, we've seen a bit of pressure being applied here by Domination, but Shaman are riding it quite nicely, but they're not able to get the ball out of their own half, and they've got to be careful here not to allow Domination the confidence to build up and to find that goal. Koji shot off the backboard. Richmond gets met there by Rice Fox, and this is a bit more like it from Domination.
We're starting to see a little bit of control from Domination to try and pick up the pieces that they've left behind. They have a deficit of 2 goals. They really have to start adding a little bit more pressure. We're going to see that third man, I think, dive in a little bit further. And as we see there, the third man dove in all the way. Perhaps he was a little bit bumped, but they are leaving themselves a little bit open. And you have to, at this point, the pressure's on. You got 90 seconds to make 2 goals. And really, you got to get that first goal to make that difference, as all the Shaman Esports team was up there to greet the ball, to move the direction. Great job for Domination to be able to take the patience and read it. What a redirect by Shaman Esports. Tilted a little bit farther back as he sees this ball coming out back off the wall. Gets the slightest touch. It's on target. and no one is there for domination. Well done by Shaman Esports, making it 3-0, making a statement in the first game. There's the demo. Another demo takes each other out of the play. Rise Fox has to try and meet Kokun, but here we're seeing more pressure. There's a double commit, and this is getting a little bit dangerous in the front of the net. Oh, Eugen is able to center it, but no one's there to clean up. Rise Fox tries to throw it against the backboard, gets a cleanup deno. Great shot, not able to. You can really see domination is scrambling on defense, as there's another goal slotted in by Rise Fox. A nice easy tap in. Kokun did not get the clear he wanted. Low boost, just threw himself at the ball, and Rise Fox has the patience. He has 3 goals ahead, or 3 points for his team ahead of him, so he knows he doesn't have to make a play and just wins that 50-50. Here's Rise Fox again, dangerous on the last play. Looks like he's dangerous again on this one. Not able to get the double touch, but that's okay. It clears the net out of almost all the players in Richmond. Low boost, not able to get the touch he wanted, and he is showing a little bit of nerves. Come on, domination, you guys sort yourself out here as Kokun is able to throw it down. Richmond gets a small touch and wires that into the post. Isle is going to take it off the top and is met by Goji, who throws it in the middle, and Richmond collects it. This is fantastic. Domination finally finding each other and is rewarded with a fantastic goal. Meeting that third man, Eugen is just on his heels in an awkward attempt to save. Richmond reads that perfectly, and they're on the board. Now, I don't think it's enough to win this game, but it's certainly enough to get a little bit of momentum and keep themselves mentally prepared for the next.
Indeed, I mean that's yeah. They kind of let the game run away from them a little bit. Shaman Esports, though, absolutely you can't take away from them. They absolutely dominated this game. In terms, if you look at field domination, they were keeping the ball firmly in domination's half, and I'm still getting over that goal by Eugen. I mean, effectively, it was a double tap off the side wall. That just goes to show you the quality that we have in these two teams. And Shaman Esports came out the blocks firing on all cylinders and come away with, on paper, was an easy victory for them. But domination towards the end there, we saw the goal coming in from Richmond. Good block, and they had a few more efforts towards the end there. You know, it's good signs, you know, going into the second game, you know, that they're not done and dusted. They just got to maybe settle the nerves down a little bit and hope that Shaman just don't pull out another insane goal.
Yeah, that really was quite the display of mechanics. 10 shots for Shaman Esports versus Domination's 6. So clearly they need to be a little bit more on target, a little bit more pressure. But I mean, for not being able to break out of their end a whole lot, they were able to put enough shots on the net, but not enough to make a difference. Shaman Esports definitely showing themselves to be someone to be reckoned with, not the 7th place team that we think when it comes to this sort of thing on paper. But that's fantastic to watch. I hope everyone's having a good time. I see some love for me out there in the chat. Thank you guys so much. Let's tune into the next game, and hopefully Domination has had a minute. I think Rise Fox. Looks like there's a substitution for Richmond. Oh no, excuse me. Rise Fox checked out. I think he had a change of car.
You got me well confused then for a second, Liquid. I was like, hold on, I missed something here. But no, I think we're all as you were. So second game is underway as Eugen going up, trying to get a double on this one.
Oh.
No, he hasn't. He's done it again. This time he's got the conventional double off the backboard. But off the kickoff, Eugen is here to play 2 insane goals. And so they've got to shut him down, because if he does that again, that's it. I'm done. I'm done casting if he pulls out another move like that.
What a tight angle. That was straight down. There was not much room for error there. Rise Fox tries to take a little bit of mind games there on Goji, not able to meet him. And I think there's a double commit there. Yep, this is an open net, an opportunity, another double commit. So we're seeing Shaman Esports being a little bit overextending themselves. There was an opportunity there for domination, and hopefully they make a little bit of a move out of it. And we see Kokun to come out and not be outdone with mechanics, as he gets a fantastic flip reset and moves the ball significantly over Eugen's head. We're just jealous. We're jealous, right, Morris Guy? We can't do this in our wildest dreams. And here we're watching just fantastic high-level gameplay where they're doing stuff that we're amazed by, and we hope that you in the chat are also having it entertaining. Oh, what a pass! What a pass!
You know what, Liquid? Before this game started, we were having a chat, and I said sometimes I find Premier games you've got two great teams that go up against each other, and it becomes they kind of cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I feel like I've cursed it before you even got started because this game is absolutely popping off at the moment, and fair play to Domination. They have turned up for this one, but Rice Fox almost getting a double off himself, but the save there by Goji on the line. Domination are here to play, and we've definitely got a gamer on our hands now.
What I love about Premier is just when you think they're done touching the ball, they get another touch. And it's so fantastic to see because a lot of the times it's hard to defend them against that because you have to get up there early, and now you have to depend on your aerial mechanics to be able to position your car to read the guy in the air, or the girl, excuse me. So it is fantastic to see, and we saw right there as there was just one more touch. Domination got it a little bit past Shaman Esports, and now here they're starting to break away with a little bit of a lead. Goji takes a run through the goal line there, trying to clear that out. Eugen and Rise Fox link up, but that ball is not going anywhere. Kokan is up early. He's out of boost. I think there's only 2 or 3 players right now that have a significant amount of boost, and everyone else is absolutely starved. And we're starting to see people just kick the ball away and try and go collect boost.
Well, sometimes you got to do that. Sometimes you just kind of got to give yourselves a bit of a moment just to regroup and reboost. But at the moment, Shaman Esports are trying their best to find that second goal to bring themselves back within touching distance of tying things up in this game here. Keeping the ball firmly in Domination's half, but not able to find a finishing touch as Kokan flips the ball powerfully forward, and fortunately for Shaman Esports, I was on the end of that one, and here they come again as we approach our halfway point. It just seems like this mid-game has started to settle down. It had a bit of a crazy moment at the start, but we seem to back to normal service. No, it isn't! No, it isn't! I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I said it, Liquid. I cursed it, but I'm so glad I did.
You know what, Morris Guy, I was feeling the same way. I was like, the last little 30, 40 seconds, it felt like it was a little bit slower. Things really hadn't happened. There was some great defense, some great offense, but nobody was really breaking through. One mechanical play made a whole bunch of space and just breaks down the offense. And there you see Shaman Esports coming away with another goal, and now they're within striking distance to keep this game and go in overtime.
Oh, Eugen though, slapping against the crossbar, inches away from getting the tied game, but the ball's got straight back up the other end, and I will now lovely touch onto the path for Rice Fox, shot on target in the back of their net, and with just over 2 minutes, they found the equalising goal. And this is beautiful team play. Love it, absolutely love it.
Fantastic team play. I think there was a miscommunication between Goji, who was on the sidewall trying to defend, and the third man rushed in, leaving Goji all of a sudden low on boost on the sidewall, and suddenly the third man, as we see almost some defensive mind games, Eugen and Rise Fox are caught in a Rule 1 in their own net, or Rule 0, I don't know what you guys call it, but whatever it was, I wasn't sure if they were going to break away. Speaking of breakaway, there's Eugen's got one on the net, gets a past Kokan, but not able to beat the post. I think last game I said that Crossbar is the best goalie. There's a double commit from Shaman Esports. I think everyone is riled up as we're crossing into the 90-second threshold, and we're basically a 0-0 game.
Yeah, I mean, right. I'll come to that point in a second as Richmond's shot on target, not quite able to get in as it's saved on the line from Shaman. Oh my word, this is end-to-end stuff at the moment. I'm not quite sure how to cast this one, Liquid, but absolute slugfest going on here in game 2. Shot there from, I think it was. I got the shot on target on that one. 3-all, 1 minute left on the clock. This is anyone's game at the moment.
Rise Fox was trying to do something spicy. He was on the Domination backboard, but unfortunately he connected with that ball way too much and sent Eugen scaling back to try and get that. Now we got a 1v3 as Isle correctly corral that ball. What a predictive save by Eugen to stop Richmond in his tracks. Koken is trying to bring the pressure.
Oh.
Is there a demo? Is there a bump? What's going on here? I can't figure out where the ball is going to go next because everyone is just trying to do the best they can, and it is becoming a spectacular game. 30 seconds before we are in overtime. Koken has the ball, not enough boost. Oh, he connects with it one more time. Richmond didn't get the touch he wanted, but he's going to try and correct it. Makes a mess of it in the front end of the goal, but there's no one in the front of the box in order to attack it. Koken throws a lobby ball, and Rise Fox correctly gets 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5, 6 more hits to get it out to the midfield, but it is not out of danger yet as Domination is on the attack. Goji does not want this ball to touch as they have a commanding lead right now, and unfortunately for them, we've gone to overtime and now it's a 1-goal game.
You know what? It kind of it had to come to the OT because these two teams in this second game, or not quite in our case, and these two teams have been trading blows back and forwards, and I think it's only fair that we go to a 1-goal shootout basically as Richmond now right hand side gets met by Eugen. Good at 50 though from Richmond, but loses out to Rice Fox with a follow-up. Eugen off the backboard into the path of Iola, but he's going up for it, got the flip reset, can't quite get the power, but Goji! Oh, Rice Fox not able to convert on that occasion.
It's just been a nail biter at the goal line. Both teams not really able to get past the defense. There's been so many great predictive saves, positional save. Eugen, he's very dangerous, not able to get the double tap he wanted, and his teammate not able to get the cleanup that he wanted. I think there's a bit of a miscommunication here between Ryder and Rise Fox.
Oh,
What a shot collected by Eugen, but they're not out of the heat yet. Domination is throwing themselves at this ball. It is danger ball after danger ball, and it is turning into quite the ruckus. What a shot by Eugen, who's going to put a nail in this coffin. He gets demoed after the whistle, but it's okay because he's got his team a winning goal.
you know what, Liquid? I kind of feel that was slightly anticlimactic there. I kind of wanted that game to finish with some insane play, and it was just a simple case of Eugen spotting the open net, making sure he got his shot on target, and end up in the back of the net to sort of see out that first game. So Shaman have destroyed my dreams of getting 2 for 2 in the night in terms of predictions, but you know what? I don't care because that game was absolutely insane. I mean, Eugen, shout out to him with nearly 4 figures on the scoreboard. That was an impressive performance by him, but the one thing I will say, there were certain points towards the end there for Shaman where it seemed like slight overconfidence. There was a glorious opportunity with both you. I think it was Rice Fox and Eugen went up for the ball. It was an open net, and neither of them got the shot on target. And it's moments like that which I think Domination has just kind of got to factor into in these final 2 games. We saw it in the first series, in terms of Alpha not quite being on point. Domination here, they brought themselves back in. They looked to square up to Shaman, and they looked good. They just got to take this forward now into games 3 and 4 and make sure they don't let Shaman run away with it.
Shaman is definitely showing themselves to be a little bit more mechanical. Eugen, I think, is starting to become a little bit more of a star player here. Both Goji, Koken, and Richmond on Domination, all well and deserved players on the field, but Eugen is really starting to set himself apart from the pack of the other 5 players on the field. Every time he touches the ball, he is dangerous. He is making space, and he is making it difficult. I think we have a kickoff goal here. Unfortunately, Goji not able to get the touch that he wanted as Isle throws it out. Koken is trying to collect it, and Goji is now out of position. Richmond gets bumped, and I think Koken's got a lot of opportunity here to collect it. He's just going to throw it away to give his teammates an opportunity to collect boost. And here we see Richmond, I think, almost caught flat-footed there as a squeaker goal just got almost by him. And Koken takes Rise Fox out of the equation, and it looks like Rise Fox, thank goodness he's back, but demos are starting to come out this play. I don't think we saw too many demos in the first 2 games, and Eugen, just every shot, every touch of his is going towards the net. And you know what they say about shooting on the net?
God, what do they say? What do they say?
They say that every shot you don't take is gonna miss. No, that's
Okay.
not what they say. That's not what they say. you have to make a shot at the net to have a possibility of going in, right? So every shot that you just make, doesn't matter if it is a lob ball or a hard shot, it has been on the net, which is making Domination try and protect it. If you have your posts and your back walls working for you, you don't have to work as hard. What a shot by Rise Fox. Just about met up with Isle to throw it into Domination's team. And Isle's going to touch it. Eugen, I think, wanted to collect that off the wall, but the ball is still going towards Domination's end. Just starting to see that Shaman Esports is all over Domination. Every time the ball goes into their end, it is quick to come back out, and it stays for a good 20-30 seconds in Domination's end.
Yeah, they might be called Domination, but they're very much not the dominating team in this series. And Game 3 is very much in favour of Shaman Esports. It just not able to, like you say, get out of their own half. But here comes Koji now. Koken looking for the
play.
demo. What an absolute beautiful play there. Koken playing linebacker. I hope I've used that American football term position right, but Koken just taking Eugen out of the equation, just allowing Koji the opportunity to dribble upfield, take his moment, get the slotting it into the bottom left-hand corner there. What a play that was for Domination to take the lead.
That was good communication on that side of the team to be able to see what is going on, to make the space for Goji to make that nice, easy, I mean, I say it was an easy, what a pinch. It was an easy shot. It was lighthearted, but it was still hard and in the opposite corner of where the aisle was. So, way to read that shot as Koken is wiring this one towards the backboard. And Eugen, again, he was going towards the ball, but he was able to flick it out and towards Rise Fox. Just what an absolute monster of a player on this field here. And he's able to connect both Shaman Esports players going for the clip. Both of them on Domination's backboard. You know, that would have been cool to see something, but boy, they almost paid for that one.
Yeah, there's one thing getting the clip, but if it results in you missing the ball and the ball getting punted up the other end to the back of your own net, then it was really worth going for. They'll think it was. Oh, the save by Rise Fox! Richmond looking for the top bins. They're not able to make it. Beautiful save, but they're keeping the ball in Shaman's half here. Richmond's shot just above the crossbar, but it's an awkward touch from Rise Fox, and Koji not able to get on the end of that one. And it's slightly awkward here from Shaman, but they managed to ride out that wave of pressure there and Domination, still with a very slim advantage.
They're linking up. This is tic-tac-toe. We only saw all three players from Domination involved in that play, getting it down the field. They're trying to develop pressure here, but they just don't have the boost. Eugen, ever so dangerous, able to get the touch and the read. Well done. Able to get the top end of that ball to get it down and into the net. Again, tight angles. This guy has been doing the training pack. Someone asked him what the code is, because clearly people need to be practicing this. That was a fantastic shot.
That's his third double. I mean, I'm classifying that one he hit off the sidewall as a double. That's his third double of this series. And that was, I didn't actually realise he got that off an insane read in the air to set himself up for that one. I mean, going forward, Eugen is definitely a player to watch out for, mechanical prowess. But trying to match him is Rise Fox, not able on that occasion to get the double. But Shaman all of a sudden looking like they're feeling the confidence and they want to make sure that they see the victory out. But Richmond coming in clutch on the line there for Domination. Just got to be careful here. Here comes Koji now, flicks around 1-0. Oh, what a demo and Koken! Oh, we're Liquid. It's the demo play that we love to see, and what a play it was.
Rise Fox hesitated coming back because he was expecting the ball to be cleared out, and then he didn't have enough speed or boost, excuse me, to catch up to that ball. And just unfortunate, I think the smoke screen also kind of delayed his reaction. And what a play by Domination to be up with just over 30 seconds left. This one might be in the bag for Domination, which would put them up, or not put them up, which would put them on the board at a 1-2 series for Shaman.
Looking to get the third there, but Eugen making sure that doesn't happen. They got just over 10 seconds left on the clock now. Koji shot on target. Eye on the line. Can he keep this one away? Eugen comes in to help, but Koken with a follow-up off the post. And somehow the ball stayed out, but Richmond getting the read, not able to get it in the end there. But my word, domination. I think we just need to take a moment just to appreciate just how good this series has been so far. And that third game there, I mean, wow. I'll tell you what, I'll let you talk on this one, Liquid, because I don't know where to start with that one.
Mordecai needs to collect himself, and understandably, that was a fantastic game. That was definitely different from the first two games that we saw Shaman Esports just dominate them. Domination came out and was able to get the demo plays and the bump plays. It worked to their advantage in both goals, I believe. So maybe that's how they're going to have to break down Shaman Esports, as their defending teams are just so strong right now. So now it's going to be coming down to, is it in Domination's field? Is this one that you're able to steal a win away? Because at this point, you have been chasing. This is a game where if you win this as a draw, that's a fantastic win, and you should hang your heads high. Shaman Esports, I think you guys have to protect Eugen, get the ball to him and make space. Or halfway through the game, if you're finding Eugen is being shut down, change it up. Fake like you're going to pass to Eugen and make Isle and Rise Fox the pillars of this game. It's got to be a tough game. It's going to be mental at this point. We know both teams have the skill, but it's going to be seeing who has the most will to make this game theirs.
So this is it then. Domination need the win just to make sure they get the draw, and this is it for Shaman. One victory away from getting a series sweep off the crossbar. I can't quite convert that on that occasion. Not getting the early goal I saw in the previous game there, but warning signs, shots fired. And here he comes again. This time the shot connects in the back of the net. And IL getting a first goal there for Shaman.
Again, the whole Shaman Esports team on that goal. Eugen from his own quarter kicks it up. I don't think he wanted that touch, but able to react quickly and get it out to his teammate, who throws it. There's Rise Fox. Oh, what a mind game by Richmond, but not able to capitalize on that mind game. But what a game, what a shot play by Shaman. Here we see Rise Fox again on the backboard wanting the clip. Was able to connect with the ball, but couldn't get the ball in the net, which ultimately really determines the clip or not.
Indeed. As I got to remind myself, we're casting this one. I just want to sit back and just admire some of these attempts at clips and shots, and just the whole series has been absolutely beautiful to watch. And Shaman have got just under 4 minutes now to make sure they see this advantage out and not allow Domination back into this one. But we saw in the previous game, Domination do have the ability to turn it into their favour. They've got to do a bit of chasing as Koji just misses that one. Richmond, though, gets the clear, puts it into Shaman's half. Can he get a pass in field? He can! And just like that, on the turn of a hat, Domination have brought themselves back into this one, and we're all square.
That had to be real good communication. Goji and Richmond were so close to each other. Richmond, I mean, that was either reactionary or practice, but Shaman Esports had no chance of trying to save that. There was nary a breath between both of them to make that goal happen. And well done by Domination Esports to get themselves on the scoreboard and tie this one up with 3 minutes and 21 seconds left. It is anyone's game, as we are seeing cars just explode like balloons. Kokan tried to get the demo. I don't know how Eugen got that save, either just by accidentally bouncing off the backboard into that, but good job on him. And here we see another demo attempt. And it has worked for them. Richmond looked like he went past the last defender, but Goji again has all the control and all the time. He gets a great predictive read and pinches it into the net. It is now Domination's game to hold the lead.
It's an insane 50. One day, Liquid, I'll be as good as one of these guys, but definitely not today. As Rice Fox getting the clutch over on the line there. Richmond not able to put it on this occasion now. Ball on the left-hand side Ricefox getting the challenge in. It's falling into Bob Koken's quick shot on target, but good reactions there from Ayala trying to keep his side. Shaman in this one. Ball gets punted upfield now. Koji, good speed from in into the air. Ricefox taking this one now. Aerial battle going on. Ricefox can't quite get the power or the conversion on that one. Eugen trying to absolutely insane angle. It's nearly working out for him. Can he get it into the path for Ayala? He can! I've got to make sure that I actually pronounce my words here because I can feel myself just getting way too excited, Liquid, and I can see myself slurring what I'm trying to say, but I apologise if I am, but this is absolutely insane. And as we've gone past the halfway point, we're all square again.
This season is not sponsored by Scrumpy Jack. Let's just get that out there, right, center, front, right? So, but that last play, Goji got bumped in the net by Ricefox, was not able to recover to save the ball. So again, bump plays are working on either side. I think these teams are starting to recognize that mechanically it's hard to break down each other, but once you remove a player from the field, it becomes a lot easier. I don't know how Goji got that one. I think he was pre-jumped already up for that, but again, a nice positional save, and it worked out in their favor. Richmond's got no boost, but that's not a problem. He links up with Ricefox, who doesn't want to play the game of kissy-kissy on the front of their car. Ricefox throws it down for Isle, who's going to slot it into the center of the net. Kokan had no idea that there was even a player over there.
I mean, off the ceiling, pass off the backboard into the path of your teammate. You can't have a sweeter assist than that. He probably one of the easiest goals we've seen in this series, but sweetest one nonetheless probably. But a minute and a half left on the clock, and now it's the turn of Domination to try and bring themselves back into this one again. We saw them do it as Richmond. Quick shot, not able to get it past Rice on that occasion. Shot now as Eugen optimistically off the backboard there. He's wanting to get another clip on the board for him, but just over a minute left, and Domination. We've seen them do it before. Can they do it again? They've got one goal to find.
Well, Kokan turned away from the ball, trying to get a little bit of a demo there. Ricefox is pre-jumped as Eugen is seasoned in the air and is expertly able to just pop the ball right onto his hook. Eugen, so dangerous, such great control with his car, such wow, you know. Isle tries to control the ball. The Ricefox and Isle able to link up but not able to pinch it towards the net. Eugen is removed from the field by Gujin, and someone just about to try to take Richmond off the play. Kokan has got to throw it into the corner. He's able to collect the boost. He is, but Isle is there to collect the ball in the corner. Now we have a small battle, a pop out in the middle. I feel like every time there's a play, there's a Shaman's Esports person on the back of Domination's backboard. Wow, Eugen just about dropped onto that ball. He had just the right amount of boost. Ricefox is leaving it there for Isle. They are trying to leak up, but all they have to do at this point is let the ball drop.
No way!
This is an opportunity, and Ricefox denies them. There's no boost. Shaman is trying to get this on the ground, and Goji is doing a great job of keeping this in play. Is an opportunity for Isle. Ricefox now wants to score. He says, screw it. If we can't put it on the ground, we'll put it in your net. This is a great 0-second play. Isle trying to get it down on the ground. I think he's going to get his wish here. And that puts an unfortunate nail in the coffin as Shaman Esports walks away from this series of 4 with 3-1. Upsetting on paper the better team, and coming true for my prediction of 3-1 for Shaman Esports.
Yeah, I mean, I got the scoreline right. I just got the teams the wrong way round. So that's disappointing on my part. But you know, you got to feel for Domination. It's almost like you hate it in this moment when you got two teams that put in absolutely beautiful performance. Yes, Domination. They took one game to sort of find their rhythm and get into it, but when they did, they were trying their best to shut Shaman down. And on occasion they did, but in the end there, I mean, the controversy, I can see it in the chat, and I didn't want to mention it, but you know, Ricefox breaking the rule 1, that's going to be something to discuss in the Discord channel long after, and I'm sure there'll be people throwing some shade for breaking, you know, for doing that. But put that aside. I think what we can say though, Liquid, is that's been an absolutely insane series to cast, and I think it probably went ever so slightly went to the better team. I would personally say.
I say the big difference maker in that game, in those series was Eugen. He was the biggest person on the field, and he made space constantly. I mean, not discounting anyone else on the field. IS, Rise Fox, Richmond, Koken, Goji, they were all fantastic players. They all had really strong mechanics, but every time that Eugen had the ball, he either had the 2000 IQ play or whatever it was, but he made the ball move in such a way that it always ended up in an opportunity for Shaman Esports. Domination, Richmond, Koken, and Koji, there wasn't one individual person that really stuck out for me. I think collectively they were a great cohesive team, but I think, again, the difference maker was Eugen. He was able to be the bigger person on the pitch, and he's able to move the ball and manipulate the players. And really, we were all watching the game that Eugen was playing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you 100%, and I'm pretty sure we both agree that series MVP, I think, and he got some. I still can't get over that goal, that double tap off the sidewall. That that just kind of sums up his ability, I think, and like you say, he helped carry the team to victory in that one. So it's going to be an interesting one seeing how Eugen and Shaman go forward on this one, because it's interesting that they lost their first game just based on what I've seen today. But whether that was the case, because there were moments when there was slight double commits and maybe slight overconfidence from Shaman, maybe that was a factor in their first series. So if they can just keep that one under, just settle down a little bit and just, tighten up those small mistakes, then definitely a team to watch out for going forward. But certainly Domination, just as good. Probably they just didn't get off out the starting blocks quick enough for me. And I'm excited to see where these two teams go forward in the rest of the season.
I mean, there's a lot of weeks ahead of us, and what we saw tonight might just be a fraction of what we will see here live on stream. I think at this point in time, Morris Guy, you and I, we are done for today, but there is still another game. In about another 15 minutes, we have Deception and Temple. We are seeing Mal and Tavish. I love both of them. I was a player with Tavish on Ox team. I love that guy. I love playing with him. So shout out to him. He's going to have a fantastic cast with Mal. And I think for me, this was a fantastic game to be part of. I always like seeing whether it's prospect or premier gameplay at RSC is exciting. And it has been so great to be at the booth with you again, Morris Guy.
Likewise, and hopefully we can do a few more. But for I'm about to say for tonight, we still got one game, like you say. For this moment, that's it from us. So we'll let people. I'm going to go and have a lie down. I don't know about you, Liquid. Everyone in chat, just go and grab yourself a drink, because we're in for an absolute treat. And we'll see you in about we'll see you in 15 minutes.
Cheers.
Jack it up. Jack it up.
Memories die out too hard. When we were traveling mountains, used to find the loudest seas. We set down by the fire, knowing we couldn't hide, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, sunny laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. here I am. 'Cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my funland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to what I believe is the final series of the night for RSC. We have replaced both Morris Sky and Liquid Sight. It is instead now me as Mal and Tavish as the wonderful person on the right-hand side of your screen right now. How are you today, Tavish?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, but I'm kind of curious in what time zone you're living that it is an afternoon and not an evening at this point. But besides that, I'm happy to be back casting RSC again. We have a beautiful series here on our hands. We have an elite series between Deception and Temple, the second and third seed in their conference. So definitely a close one here between the two teams. But yeah, Mel, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. You said what kind of time zone I am for it to be afternoon. It is technically the afternoon right now. It is past noon. It is not past midnight. Therefore, it is good enough for me to call it the afternoon. And that is all that matters.
I stand corrected.
But yeah, as you said, Deception versus Temple, gonna be a close match. I mean, we just had, I believe, Shaman Esports versus Domination as a premiere match on stream, which had an incredible 0-second ball being kept up for what felt like a decade. Sadly, I believe Domination didn't manage to equalize and take it to overtime. But it's been some pretty good matches all night, and I think we do have the ability to go across to some team stats before we get into this game.
Yeah, we definitely do. Yeah, like we said earlier, the second and third seeds. So Temple being the second seed with 20 wins, Deception being on 15 wins right now. Deception also on 9 losses. Temple doing it a little bit better, only on 4 losses. Temple itself also hasn't lost a complete series. The worst they've done is a draw. Temple or Deception on the other hand has lost a series. And if you take just a quick look at the goals scored, goals against, Temple just doing in general the better job, scoring more, conceding less. Well, for Deception, it's all pretty close to each other. On the other hand, Deception is doing a lot of savior work, and is definitely the more aggressor with a couple more demos, and shooting actually. They're doing basically the same thing in the shooter accuracy side.
Yeah, and I mean, when we look at the player stats here, overall, I will say I'm surprised that the illusory side of the field has actually conceded so many goals, because you'd think with how they were 15-9 they wouldn't have conceded so many goals, but looking at it, everyone on illusory getting about 1 goal per game, and similarly everyone on Sanctuary's team here getting 1 goal per game or close enough to it on average. So it is looking like overall player wise on shooting, assist, basically every stat it looks like, aside from maybe saves where a lot of the players are getting about 1.5 to 2 per game. A lot of these players are very similar here.
Yeah, and then it comes the real question: if they're all so similar to each other, who of all these players is gonna step up? Because obviously, for Temple, they're still a 4-man roster at this point. For Deception, I kind of think they're in a roster change that they only have Eagle Crane, Smout, and Strat at the moment. So we already know who's going to be playing for the Deception side. For Temple, I think it's going to be 4 Mamba and Edgy, since it's the top 3 here, or 2 teams from the top 3 battling it out against each other. I don't think you're going to play a sub here, but everything is possible. But yeah, like I said, all players having pretty similar stats here. Who do you think out of these 6 players is going to be the guy to step up and say, like, I'm going to put my team on my back and carry this to a win, or just make the more important decisions?
I think overall to win them the game, I think Form's going to stand up. But out of all of the players on any of the stats, I think it's going to be Eagle Crane, because he just has that. He has such a high saves per game that I think he is a solid rock in defense, and as good as any attack from Sanctuary's team there might be, Eagle Crane seems pretty solid to handle it. And I mean, before we get fully into the game, you asked me about my prediction for the best player. Who do you predict is going to win or draw, or what do you think the score of this series is going to be?
Well, I think on one hand, I think it's going to be a very tight matchup, because obviously it's second and third seed being going to be a 2-2. But on the other hand, I gotta say Temple's gonna be the upper hand here.
Yep. Sorry to just kind of get a bit confusing here, but due to an issue we just had in the lobby, we are just quickly remaking. But yeah, I mean, I've predicted it slightly different to you, in that I think it is going to be a 2-2 game. They just seem so close. Illusory's team of Deception seeming like the better team in defense, and Temple being better at offense. I feel like they're going to cancel each other out and really just end up being equal there. But hopefully once we get this lobby remade, we can be all happy and get to some games. But I don't know, what else can we talk about while we quickly remake the lobby?
Well, one thing I find curious, because obviously you said that you think Eagle Crane is going to be the high impact player here for the Deception side, and you think it's going to be a draw result. To be honest, I can definitely see it going in that direction with how you said it perfectly. Both teams just kind of cancel each other out, with Deception being a little bit more on the saving side, Temple being a little bit more on the aggressive side. It's going to be a very good midfield battle, just duking it out with each other. Who's going to get full control, who can do their thing. But if I have to, but like the reason I'm not picking your side with like it's going to be a draw, it's going to be a victory for Temple, is purely Temple being a little bit more the aggressive team. I kind of think if they bring maybe 1 or 2 demos or a bump in there, it can just completely overthrow everything for the Deception side and just cause enough chaos to make sure that they can get all the goals in.
That is, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much we mentioned the demos on the team stats, but quickly looking at my image of them now, it does look like there's not too many demos coming out whatsoever from either team. So, I mean, if they are going to go for demo or bump plays, they might just go for bump plays given such a low demo stat. But the one thing that everyone should note, as much as we've made our predictions of it being pretty close, especially due to them being second and third, their position alone doesn't mean that when they meet, let's say, Temple's aggressive playstyle, like you said, it might just completely overrun the Deception defense, and it could just be a straight sweep. But those are the kind of things that we can only find out when the match starts. Hopefully, I think we are missing one of the teams. I've been told we're waiting on Temple to join the lobby currently, so they may be your favourite to win, but they do need to be in the lobby to actually to win it. But I think they've just arrived, so hopefully we can get everything going.
They're all ready to go, so let's get this matchup on the way. And because I think at this point we've waited long enough to see who's going to be the dominant team out of these two. They're all ready to go. They all just want to show everyone how good they truly are. We have Deception in blue and I want to say Sanctuary, but Temple in the orange. Game 1 on the way. Quick couple shots at the start already. Temple definitely looking like the aggressor.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of exactly as we expected, as Form getting some pretty funky touches off the ceiling there. If Sanctuary or Temple can manage to overrun this defense early, which they almost do with a touch there, I think it won't spell doom for the rest of the series, because it is only now 30 seconds in as another shot goes slammed wide. But I do think if they can get an early goal at some point in this series, it might just help them push even more. And you were right about the aggression, because right now they are on fire.
Yeah, and now Deception is slowly pushing out from time to time. I think it's mostly going to be, as far as in this first minute that's now come and gone, it's Temple is definitely going to set the pace here. They're going to be the aggressor. They're going to decide who's going to shoot and where the ball is going to be. But then the moment they leave one open spot in midfield, oh, so close to being the goal, and there the follow-up from Edgy will get the opening goal for Temple.
Yeah, and I mean, it's an incredible shot to start out. It was a beautiful 50 from Form that managed to hit it into the post. Sadly, didn't go in. But I mean, usually when you see a matchup of defensive play versus aggressive play, usually the defensive team's a bit slower, and I think that is going to allow maybe this Temple team to get a bit of an edge, at least in game 1, before anyone can adapt.
Yeah, and like I wanted to say before, Edgy pulled off that beautiful goal there. I think for Deception, if they want to have a real chance of winning here, if they can control midfield, because obviously Temple, they're not going to control midfield the entire time. There will be some mistakes here and there. I think eventually there will be one opening for them that they can truly break free, catch Temple off guard, and you get that goal that they so definitely need. And maybe we can see it here in game 1. Otherwise probably will be game 2. As we both know, game 1 is normally a little bit of a taste game, just seeing how it goes. And so far Temple's feeling comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, they've to say that they're comfortable, I feel like is a bit of an understatement right now, because I think it's been less than 30 seconds of this game so far that they have been out of this Deception half, and it's showing as a bit of a defensive mistake there. It looks like someone got the save. I think it was Stat, sorry, and someone else doing a backflip. Smooth, yeah, accidentally slams it backwards into his own net. Not what you want to be seeing with Deception on defense here.
No, a little bit of a misplay there, maybe a little bit of disruption from the Temple side that just made it really difficult for the defense from Deception to just keep on going. But now 2 goals and we still have half the match left to be played. So maybe for Deception a little bit of a chance now to come back as a beautiful 50 here, almost creates an opportunity for Eagle Crane. Quick shot from Strat, immediate follow-up. Smurf tries to keep the pressure, but a little bit of an awkward touch there. And Temple immediately on the breakaway all the way into the other side.
Yeah, and it feels like maybe Temple have dropped off a bit of their offense now that they have this 2-goal lead, but I would imagine they're definitely aiming to get it up to 3, which they almost do with the demo there. And if Deception can't make super fast, clinical, dangerous counterattacks here, I don't think they stand much of a chance, because like we've seen all game, and like you were saying beforehand, this Temple side is just too aggressive. This form with a flip reset just saved by a defender, and now is that opportunity that they needed for that blue half, getting a goal finally with 1 minute and 42 remaining.
Yeah, what a beautiful player. Eagle Crane bangs it forward, Smile perfect in position, catches the defender off guard, and this is just those breakaway plays that if you have a little bit of control in midfield, you can make it happen. And they're showing it perfectly here. And finally we get them on board. Finally we can see that there's still a team ready to play. As in the first half of this game, they definitely felt out of control. Now a little bit of an awkward moment, luckily for Deception. Smile can clear it. A little bit of a double commit there from Strat, but the ball still cleared into midfield.
Yeah, and so far, aside from that what seemed like one little hiccup on the Temple defense, they've seemed pretty solid so far. And I mean, with how this match is going, as much as I predicted 2-2, I can definitely see your 3-1 being just as likely as a 2-2 right now.
Yeah, and at this point only time will tell, because personally I'm always one that thinks game 1 is a little bit of taste game, like in almost every series. One team is going to be a little bit more the dominant one, or they're both kind of, I don't want to call it passive, but just kind of just testing each other's defenses. What can we do? What can't we do? But so far, Temple feeling comfortable, like we've already said. Deception slowly finding their rhythm, but if Deception can kind of get the momentum here, like they're slowly building it right now, then I can also kind of see how they're going into a draw result. But game 1 slowly looking in favor of Temple here as we're finally entering the final 20 seconds. But I have no clue how game 2 is gonna be, because Deception does look slowly building the momentum to just, I don't know, take the lead, be a little bit more dominant.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an impressive game so far from both sides. An incredible job by Temple after getting the 2-goal lead to hold it. At least it did drop to a 1-goal lead, but they held it pretty well at 1-goal lead for the remainder of the time. And I think, and I imagine you'll probably have a bit more to add on after I've said this, but all Deception really needs to do here is they just need to build up as a team, get passing as they try and get it out, because right now it's felt like when they're going for clears, they're just trying to hit it out of their half rather than work together to get it into the opponent's half. I'm not sure whether I just can't hear you, but I was about to say, yeah, I'm not sure if I can't hear you, but you are currently muted, I think, Tavish. It's you know what? We'll just keep talking. I'll pretend to be Tavish, as Tavish completely agrees with the point that that Mal's just made. You can see on the right camera he's having a great time, but while he quickly rejoins to the Discord, I mean, I've already said what I think Deception needs to do. Temple, I think they just need to keep their offense up, and they will be solid either way, no matter what Deception does. And it is still sounding like we may have completely lost a Tavish here. So this is going to have to turn into a bit of a solo cast from here on out. Until Tavish can magically reappear, we need to ask just the magic wizards of Discord to somehow fix his audio. But heading into game number 2 here, we see a very strong start from Temple as they already have one shot on this net. Only 5 seconds in, it's an incredible go. But if they can keep it up, I could quite easily see a similar scoreline, as now the ball dropping very dangerously in front of the net. Is that Tavish back?
Yes.
It's
For some reason my headset decided to cut out, but we're back. I can finally hear you guys again.
This is incredible. I've heard something about the cat. Is the cat here? Please say the cat's here.
Yeah, the cat is still here. Our third caster is still in the booth. I'll get him on cam when we're in between the games. But for now, I did see that Temple is already applying the pressure like they've been doing previously. But now a quick shot from Strat all the way into the other side might change it a little bit. But so far, Temple's still the upper hand.
Yeah, and I mean, it's definitely, I see what you mean about that first game being the more taster one. As now, Deception into game number 2 have seemed like a much stronger opponent, although reminiscent a bit of maybe a prospect match there, as every single person just misses the ball. What's going on there?
Yeah, it definitely did feel like it was one player missing second, third, and fourth all in a row. Now quick opportunity for Temple maybe to get a goal in, but you were not the only one to kind of get the prospect vibes going.
Yeah, and I mean, it's looking like, I don't know let me check the stats right now. It is looking like Deception being held very hard on defense right now, but at the same time, one of the best defenders for this blue half has seemed to be that front post, as quite a few of these hits coming from Temple have just been slammed straight onto the post and not been dangerous enough to actually cause a goal.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely going to be a difficult thing for them to do, but now Strat was a beautiful save there, and even though they're not doing all the defense work on their own, the fourth defender and the Woodwood's definitely helping them out a lot. And I think for Deception to kind of break through is they kind of need to get that counter play going again. And for Temple, they're just doing their thing. It's just the shooting accuracy that's a little bit lacking right now, since not every shot has gone to this position where they want it to be.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I mean, on top of that, I think we need to see a bit more passing, as I said at the end of last game when your mic got out. I think for them, for the Deception team to score a goal, which they almost do there, they need to get some more passes out, because right now they get a touch, but it just seems to go straight into the hands of the pink player.
Yeah, and definitely for Deception it needs to be a little bit more team play, and I think for Temple a little bit more disruption, since they know how to find each other. They're definitely looking for each other. Sometimes obviously every player whiffs from time to time, that's just how it goes, but that's all normal. But every time they go for a passive play, you just see one of the players from Deception actually reading the play and making it really difficult for Temple to break through, for Temple to do their thing like they did in game 1. So if they would add a demo or a bump, just kind of open the entire field, then their passive plays would be much more useful.
Yeah, I mean, Demo is one of the most powerful tools in Rocket League. As a ball split straight, goes right in front of that net,
no.
and Edgy almost going for an own goal there by accident. Because the power of the demos, if they do bring them out, or even bumps, is that it can throw your opponents off the ball for usually about 6 seconds, because it's 3 seconds to respawn, and then a second or 2, maybe 3 if they're far enough away, before they can actually get into a meaningful position in the play, which right now, if there's no defender, they can't save it, but still, no demos coming out from either side, it seems like.
No, the aggressive plays are definitely missing in that category. But one thing that we do find slowly are the more team plays from the Deception side. Now you saw Strat finding Smoke in the air to eventually kind of get the airdrop going. Now, beautiful bomb play actually on the goalie, but Form couldn't wrap his car around the ball the way he wanted. Otherwise, it could have been a beautiful play. But now a beautiful 50 straight answers from Mamba gets the first goal for Temple.
It's an incredible flip there. He's absolutely outdone that one defender trying to clear it. And he read exactly where the play was going. He flipped perfectly to slam it in. And it's just working wonders. With 37 seconds left, Deception sees himself back on the, just on the back foot again. As, I mean, what can they do in this last 30 seconds to really win here?
Well, one thing is for them to kind of go full throttle forward, and this was such a great opportunity, but the ball a little bit too far forward for Smiles to get a piece of it. But Strat now doesn't make contact like he should. Eagle Crane does make contact. Beautiful demo by Strat to open up the net. Smiles immediate follow-up. Kind of gets the open net. Does get the, I want to say open net, but it was a really tight angle. And with 12 seconds left on the clock, we have a tie game.
Yeah, and I feel really bad for Edgy there because all they can do is just sit there and watch as they respawn and get bumped by Eagle Crane rotating out, putting them completely out of position. And with 12 seconds left, they've done a great job of equalising, but what they need to do is they need to hold it and get another goal to really get themselves at least one win in the series before it gets to 2-0 for that Temple half. I thought that ball had dropped, but they managed to keep it up, and they almost managed to score it with 0 seconds, but instead we're into overtime.
Yeah, it was such a close opportunity there for Eagle Crane to even keep the ball up, kind of get the play going. But obviously at this point, why play 0 seconds when you can just take the overtime, just give your team just maybe the kickoff strat to kind of take the game here. But so far, kickoff happened, 20 seconds in overtime. Temple look like
Good
number one, and
touch.
of course, while I'm talking, Eagle Crane with the beautiful pass to Smile. Deception take the win here.
I mean, we said they needed to pass, and
Yeah.
my God, they have done an amazing job there. They have just nailed the pass downfield, caught that one defender maybe lacking a tiny bit, and when they do that, I mean, if they can keep it up, they can definitely, I mean, they could quite easily take the series from here, because that is a very fast change of momentum, being 1-0 down for a good portion of that match, to then suddenly equalise with 12 seconds left and score in overtime. I think Deception have finally warmed up.
Yeah, and one thing that also woke up is our third caster here in the booth. Let me quickly get her on screen. She decided to become active and is also paying full attention, so we're not the only two here talking action. She's also slowly scratching my arm, showing everyone how hyped she is. It definitely hurts a little bit, I can tell you that much. But one thing that doesn't hurt, Deception finally getting the win here. It did look like Temple was the stronger team, but Deception showing us that they can definitely fight back, not being that much of a defensive team. They controlled midfield beautifully, and they got that beautiful win here in overtime.
And there is only one question, and I imagine there's people in chat who may be thinking the same, maybe not posting the same, but what does our third co-caster think of the series so far?
Well, she fell asleep at the first half of this game, since it was no goals. But definitely during the first game, she saw a lot of cars driving around, and her paw was over my screen, so casting was terrible. But she did follow everything very closely.
And I mean, she's going to be loving to follow it closely there, as that one is almost in the block on the clear. Isn't enough, but this is seeming like an entirely different Deception heading into game number 3. As Stat trying his hardest to pressure Form, and I think they may have figured out the style of play that Temple have been using.
Yeah, and hopefully for Deception, they can continue what they've been doing at the end of game number 2. Because even though it was really late in the game to finally get their goal, it did work in the end, because they were going for a little bit more of the awkward angles, just the positions you normally wouldn't shoot at. And now Eagle Crane, beautiful 50 here, makes it really awkward for Edgy to get the save. Quick follow-up shot from Smurf as well, but the Temple defense does keep it out so far. But Deception, they're looking like a different beast right now. They're becoming more aggressive, a little bit more shots. They're putting Temple on the back foot here.
Yeah, I mean, you said they came up in the last game a bit late, but what I will say is it is better late than never. And right now, it is seeming like they are going full power from the start of the matches. It seemed like game one's been completely flipped on its head in terms of pressure. I don't think we've been out of this pink or orange half for a majority of this game so far.
Smurf tries to take it into the air, tries to find backboard, but Edgy has him covered, and immediately afterwards, Eagle Crane, beautiful 50, tries to get a read. Edgy again, Form denies him another opportunity, and the moment the ball hits midfield, there's already one of the Deception players up to deny that opportunity. Edgy doesn't get the touchdown that he wanted, ran out of boost a little bit too early, and Form immediate follow, make it a little bit awkward here for the Deception defense, like we have seen already a couple times here in this series. But immediately afterwards, Deception back in offense, and Temple has to do a lot of defending here in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, at the rate Deception's playing this game, both of our predictions could be wrong. I mean, it's obviously too early to call it when there's 3 minutes left 0-0, but the thing about this is, we may be right in what we're saying about the players in the game, we may both be right about that, but in the end, only one of us, or technically neither of us, could be correct on the prediction. And given how much the tables seem to have turned in this match, I think Deception... I don't think Temple can win 3-1 anymore, I don't think.
I think it really is going to depend on how Temple is going to finish this match. Because if Deception is really just going to keep the pressure like this, then I'm going to agree with you. It's going to be either a 2-2 or it's going to be a 3-1 for Deception. But if maybe in the next 2 minutes Temple can slowly get back a little bit more into their own rhythm, just do their own thing instead of just playing like Deception wants them to play, then I can definitely see a 3-1 happening. But that's a lot of ifs, and so far Temple is not showing anything yet.
Yeah, I mean, I think you described it perfectly there about them playing the Deception game. You mentioned it in game number 1, where it felt like they had complete control over the speed of the play, where the ball was going. This game, it's just, it's the exact opposite. As I think maybe a mix of them getting warmed up and the fact that right now it seems like the chat is entirely in favour of this illusory roster of Deception winning, that maybe they've just got an absolute rush of adrenaline and maybe even just pure gamer skill, really. There's nothing else to describe it than skill, as they have been doing an incredible job this game of stopping the attacks from the Sanctuary or Temple half. But it isn't a good enough job, as Mamba sneaks one in when no one was ready.
Yeah, and this is kind of what Deception did in game 1. Just force an awkward play, kind of get them on the counter-attack, even though this was not really a counter-attack. This was just catching them in the Temple caught Deception in the most awkward moment of their rotation in their defense. And then you have a beautiful open net to shoot at. Obviously you're not going to waste it. They score first, 1 minute left to play, a lot of time still left for Deception to get back into the game, but so far they look like the dominant team, but Temple still taking the lead.
And I mean, game 1 showed how good Temple are at just wasting time when they have a lead, and I wouldn't be surprised if they tried a similar strategy here, although maybe they could go for another goal. Given how aggressive Deception have been playing, they need to make sure they are safe. They can't just be complacent like they seem to be with the 2-0 lead in game number 1. It dropped to 2-1. Right now it looks like they're going for another, but Form is off the crossbar, and the post and crossbar once again doing a great job for both teams, as that one's also off the crossbar.
Yeah, 2 beautiful shots straight after each other, both on the crossbar. Both teams definitely putting in a lot of pressure. Even Crane, quick shot on target will be wide. Edgy cutting in midfield, denying that opportunity for Smurf to keep the pressure. Strat now tries to take it into the end, doesn't have much boost to work with. Time on 0 seconds. Form beautiful 50. Edgy will probably let it drop. Temple take game number 3. 2 predictions are still able, a draw or a 3-1 for Temple. And so far, I have no clue what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, there is one upside for at least us in this, is that, as you've said, now that Temple have won this game, no matter what, one of our predictions is going to be correct. Whereas had Deception won this one, there was the good chance that Deception could go 3-1 and take it. But I think all Deception need to do is just play more carefully. They were doing a great job of defending in game 1. They did a great job of attacking in game 2. Now I think they just need to mix them both in this game number 4. Do what they did in this game that's just happened, but just maybe play it slightly more passive, because they got the shots, but they didn't really get much in the way of goals.
Yeah, and I don't know what they're going to do. That's the weird part. Normally, and I think you know this as well, when you cast a series, you can kind of expect what a team is going to do as the series progresses. And I think for Deception, they're not going to change anything, since they had the upper hand so long in this entire game. In the end, it was just a really awkward rotation in defense that just completely, kind of unscrewed everything they did. But no clue how they're going to do it here in game number 4. But for Temple, they're definitely up in the series so far. The only thing they need to do is get that final win. But for them, I think the draw is also still good enough for them to keep in the top 3.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what, Temple haven't really lost too much here. I mean, they may have wanted a win, but a draw is better than a loss. Whereas for this Deception half, the pressure is only going to be building, as if they lose this game, they will have lost overall, being 3-1 down. But right now, it doesn't look like pressure's getting to them at all, as once again they've started out on a very, very strong, aggressive start, but a couple of misses making things awkward for both teams.
Yeah, and Mamba now tries to get the open net, does have the follow-up, will be on the crossbar. Edgy follow-up, crossbar as well. Tries to get a double down, but doesn't make the contact that he wanted. Eagle tries to get a clear. Mamba immediate follow-up as well. Temple definitely being the aggressor here in the first minute. Edgy had an opportunity for a follow-up backflip. Form to the back wall, tries to get a ball. Edgy faking out. Mamba now the final person in defense. Tries to keep something going and does control midfield rather well, but Eagle Crane immediate counter to the outside.
Yeah, and I mean, for basically the last 20 seconds, I've just been mouth agape at how Temple somehow didn't score that goal there. They had every opportunity, but they just completely flopped the shot. And if that is what decides this game, it's going to be a hard one to go off.
Yeah, it definitely will. And one thing that I'm thinking right now, because obviously before the series we were talking about who do you think is going to be a very impactful player, and you said Eagle Crane. And you know, even though throughout the series, I think point-wise he's not been like MVP the entire time, I do think that all around just helping with everything, just setting up his teammates for shots, for passes, for saves, for whatnot. He has been a very impactful player.
And I mean, form as well. I said he was going to get some funky shots. He may not have scored all of them, but he sure did get some good shots. And I don't think he got credit with the save. I don't know if he actually got a touch on that. But Edgy with an incredible goal line save. But it doesn't matter, as Eagle Crane finally manages to find that crack in the defense and just hits it like a sledgehammer, 118 kilometers an hour straight into the back of the net.
Yeah, and again a beautiful passing play from the Deception side. This time Eagle Crane on the receiving end, banging it into the water net, back net. Swap whip here, Strat whip immediately afterwards. Form can't wrap his car around it to get a powerful shot, and Strat immediately countered it to the other side. Does get saved by Edgy, and Temple now. Their entire opportunity to get a 3-1 victory is on the line here. Eagle Crane, quick shot on target, will not go in. Strat, beautiful follow-up, it is in. Deception 2-0 up.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Savage, but I do believe as well that is the biggest lead Deception have had so far in this 4-game series. And if that is true, it's not looking good for Temple here.
No, and for them, it's kind of like game 1, but then the other way around. Because in game 1, we saw Temple being in the lead, 2-0 very long, and in the end, Deception turned around. But now, Deception is 2-0. Maybe Temple can get at least one goal back for them, but it's going to be a very difficult one to see if they're gonna get it back. So far, even though the ball is in the Deception side, Temple doesn't look fully in control to do what they need to do.
Yeah, and I mean, around about 2 minutes with a 2-goal lead is usually what I like to call the kind of safety time with a 2-goal lead. Any longer than about 2 minutes, and you get to a situation where there's enough time but quite a few mistakes to slip through and a good chance of losing the 2-goal lead. Whereas when you're within these last 2 minutes, now last minute and 20 seconds, I feel like it gets so much easier because 2-goal lead at a minute compared to 2-goal leads at 3 minutes, they feel like two completely different situations, and it's because they are. It's just so much easier. But another shot onto the crossbar, and to be honest, as much as it might be easier to hold a 2-goal lead, when your opponents are shooting onto the crossbar so consistently, like Temple are doing right now, I don't think it really matters how easy or hard it is to lose.
No, and I think you said it actually perfectly. For beautiful, I want to say pull shot attempt here for Eagle Crate, but it just didn't look really weird. But edging out, beautiful flick attempt, but immediately saved. And so far, final 30 seconds ticking down. Mamba here gets an opportunity, no stretch, immediately denies that one shot that he had. And 20 seconds left on the clock. Form up, going for the double. Does for the double. Beautiful play here. But now comes the big question. In 18 seconds, can Temple tie this up to force an overtime?
I mean, I was gonna say 30 seconds with a 2-goal lead. It's quite hard to come back from. If they could score with enough time, they can do it. I'm not sure if this is enough time to do it though. This Deception half have already shown how good they are at both defending and wasting time when they don't need to score. And right now, with 10 seconds left, there is going to be at least one more attack for Temple. But whether or not it's going to amount to anything is an entirely different situation, as the ball is just slowly rolling away. No one's going to be able to touch it. And that is going to be the 2-2 draw for Deception and Temple here.
Yeah, and you were right all along. I was kind of feeling hope that Temple could pull it off here, and they had so many moments, but so had Deception. A lot of moments where they were like, yeah, we can turn this around, yeah, we're maybe the stronger team out of the two. But in the end, draw result, still a solid result for both of these teams, since, you know, they're the second and the third seed. You kind of expect both of them to just have this hard-fought battle. You didn't expect a sweep here.
No, I mean, I was right with my prediction of 2-2, but at the same time, it felt like I was right, but with the wrong equation, because I said it was going to be Temple on the offense, Deception on the defense. But for 3 of those 4 games, it felt more like Deception was the one on the offense, which went against their stats, really.
Yeah, it definitely did. But with that, we did close down our final series here. A 2-2 result between Temple and Deception. We end on an Elite Series. And what a series it has been to end it all.
Yeah, we couldn't have. I mean, we had the Premier match before, which was an incredible matchup. I believe ended 3-1 to Shaman. We then have this matchup now, which ended 2-2. We can see the incredible third caster there with Tavish. I mean, after a series like that, I believe, and I'm sure Twitch chat will agree with me, our third caster really deserves a few treats.
I definitely have some treats for her stored in the back that she's gonna get for surviving this this full cast with me.
But either way, thank you Tavish for coming out and casting here. Thank you Tavish's cat. I don't believe you've said the name of your cat. What is your cat actually called? That's a nice thing to know.
It has the beautiful name of Muffin.
Okay, thank you Muffin for casting alongside us, and thank you Kendo for broadcasting us. I believe RSC is back this Sunday. I think you're casting on Sunday. I'm not at all. So it's sad I know, but hopefully Tavish at least will see you there. And I think that's all from me. I don't know if you want to add anything before we end.
No, you said it perfectly. Obviously, thanks Mel for the beautiful cast, like always. Thanks Kendo for broadcasting the entire evening. Thanks everyone for watching, and Mel basically said it all, but we'll see you Sunday.
Goodbye.
I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the silent wind that mourns. Who you think you are? Who you think you are? creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire.